Hey guys, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Bonnie action figure. Now this is a figure that you can find at like Walmart, I've seen some at GameStop, and Hot Topic as well. And it's varied prices, like $16.50 at Hot Topic to I think like $12 at Walmart, and maybe like $13 I've seen at my GameStop anyway. So it's very varying in price, and depending on the price, it can be worth it or not. So I'm going to show you some defects and problems that this guy has, as well as talk about some of the good parts. So first off, let's take a look at the package. Now, the package is rather nice, but however, there are some problems. Like, you can't really open it without destroying the package. It's kind of sad, but it does have some nice artwork of Freddy up there. And if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, it's just a video game that's very repetitive, but kind of fun. If you've ever seen someone playing it, then it looks like fun, but if you play it yourself, not so much. Way too repetitive. So like, I recommend seeing Markiplier playing it. It's very fun. Okay, so here's the other figures from the line. There are 5 figures and then the Build-A-Figure, which I don't have the Build-A-Figure part to this guy because I got it on clearance, but whatever. Okay, so there's Freddy, I own him, Bonnie, and then Chica, Golden Freddy, and Foxy, which are kind of harder to find, except for Golden Freddy's rather easy to find, but he's just a repeat of that one, just painted slightly differently. The Build-A-Figure does look pretty cool, though. I don't know, I'm going to have to like find a way of getting my hands on that one. Anyway, collect all 5 Nights at Freddy's, it says up here. And that's basically it. It's a rather plain packaging, but I don't mind all that much, because for $11.99 normal price, that's not horrible packaging. Anyway, now here's the figure himself. There are a few reasons why I wanted this figure. First, I like Five Nights at Freddy's. I like the concept and stuff, not so much the game, and he's also in scale with the Walking Dead figures, so I just had to get it, especially since, I don't know, this Rick Grimes sort of looks like a security guard, and yeah, it looks like it fits. Anyway, let's take a look at the accessory first. Now, this is really proving that it doesn't have too much bang for your buck, whereas the only accessory that comes with, if you don't include the body part for the next character or whatever, is just this one piece that's very flat on the back and doesn't necessarily have all that great of a paint scheme. It's just silver, black, red, and white. Rather plain, but you know, not too horrible, except for to get it in his hands is kind of hard, because at first his hands are really tight, so you have to just jam it in there. And then the other hand will never be able to quite hold it so much. You just have to put it down near that. Yeah. So the accessory isn't extremely good, and it's not really realistic looking. It just looks like a toy thing. But the figure himself is done pretty well, the sculpt at least, and then the paint is pretty good as well, but I do have a complaint in the articulation. Not so much that it doesn't have articulation, it's the way that they made the articulation. So to start off, let's just take a look at the sculpt and paint. You can see he has a very comical look to him. He does have quite a bit of little details on him, like these rough parts all over his face. I don't know if my camera's getting the right focus on this. There we go. He looks like he could be furry, like he has some fur put on his body. This guy's a little tail back there. And then the bottom of his feet are just nothing. There's some dirt poured on him, and then just the basic purple color with the pink. So the paint's, yeah, you know, it's okay. It's got sort of a dark wash over it. The sculpt is rather fair. It looks like it has his weird, chunky, cartoonish proportions. He kind of looks like a Chuck E. Cheese type. The only problem is, now let's get to the big problem of this guy, is the articulation. Now just take a look here. If you try and move his arm, the arm will come off. And it's not exactly so bad on this Bonnie figure as it is on the Freddy. I mean, just take a look at how floppy he is. Yeah, so there are quite a few problems with this articulation, because it's just a ball joint, and these ball joints just pop off real easy. Now it does make it good, it does make it a little more fun, because you can do weird stuff with them, like give them tiny little baby arms, which is kind of fun. So that's cool, but I mean, other than that, when it comes to articulating and posing him, it's a little bit of a problem. Here's what I like to do with my guy. Let's pop these off here. Hear all those noises, and see, it's kind of easy for him to just come apart. But look, this is what makes him fun. Now we have Stumpy Bonnie. Come on, isn't that cute? Yeah, so really, that's the best thing you can do with him. I gotta be honest, it's just... He's so creepy looking, and then it's so tiny. But anyway, other than that, I cannot actually honestly recommend him for anything over maybe $10. If you see him for $10 somewhere, make sure to pick him up. For $12, it just seems... I don't know, he has a lot of technical problems, let's just put it that way. If it weren't for these little articulation problems, he'd actually be a really good figure. If these were like real tight ball joints, I wouldn't have that much of a problem. Maybe it's just mine, but the fact that there are some out there that just fall apart like that, I do have a problem with that, and I would not recommend picking up these figures unless you don't mind that he falls apart like that. There are probably small ways to cure this a bit, like putting nail polish on the inside of the ball joint will make it a little tighter. But whereas on him it's not so bad, it's bad on other figures. I've seen figures that are just like really, really bad. However, he is still cool, and when it comes to posing him, it's not too horrible if you're just gonna like put that guitar in his hands and set him on the shelf. He's good for that, and he's better. I would recommend him more than getting some sort of Funko Pop figure, so there you go. That's pretty much all I have to say for him there, so let's just take a quick look at his articulation, then we'll be done. So, start off with his head. His head is not the normal ball joint that these parts are, really. It doesn't pop off, and it does a full rotation, can look up that much and down that much, can do a little head pivot. No articulation on his ears, their jaw, that's kind of a missed point there. It would also be cool, I don't know, if this was a $20 figure making his eyes articulate and all that, this stuff would be like, it would be a great figure. Okay, his arm can do a full rotation at the shoulder, it can move up, not much at all, just like, see that? And it can move forward, but that shoulder is just very inhibited. Then at the elbow here, can do full rotation, can move down and up, not even close to a 90-degree angle. He can swivel his hand, and then that's it. Same on the other arm as well. Then on the legs, it's kind of tight at the hips for mine, but then at the knees, he can, well, let's go back to the hips. It does a little bit of swivel side to side, can't really kick forward or back at all. Then at the knees, it moves back this much, forward this much, and then does a little bit of a swivel. Kind of tight around the leg parts here, but then at the arms very floppy, and then at the upper leg it just falls off easily. So, that's the articulation, those are the issues. However, despite all of that, I do think he is a cool figure, and depending on whether you're okay with a figure that falls apart and can easily lose pieces, he can be a pretty good figure. So, I don't know, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about the figure. Is he worth getting? And I will see you guys in the next review. Peace.